is up, guys? Welcome back to DemonCast. As you can see, we got this clown right here with us, joining us today. It doesn't stop between us. It never has.
No, that's been the nature of our relationship for years now.
Yeah, it does. I don't think you'll ever find that it changes. So we got this guy back because he's been harassing me about wanting to come back because I guess he's got a lot to talk about.
I've literally mentioned to you coming back twice in the last 4 months. 4 months. 4.
He's lying.
Twice.
He's lying.
Because this motherfucker couldn't give me a straight answer.
Well, I was kind of on a hiatus, and you know this.
Yeah, I asked you 4 months ago. Hey, when do you want to get back into doing this? Because I just at least want to plan around it. No answer. 2 months ago, I asked him, hey, I know you just started up doing DemonCast. What's your plans? Still, he gave me some of an answer, but no straight answer. And then I think I talked to him a week ago, and you mentioned doing this. But then, then literally last minute, oh, hey, yeah, we're doing it.
I had no control of what was going on at work. I had no control. Sometimes they were having us work Saturdays, and sometimes they weren't. We're not supposed to work Saturdays, but I can't control that.
Excuses over here.
By the way, guys, this is DemonCast 12 before I was rudely interrupted.
Fuck you.
Part 1, by the way, of this asshole. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's how it is. We talking. But anyways, since the first time he was on here, it's been about, I think, 7 months. I think YouTube is telling me that it's been since he did his guest feature on the very first one. Well, that was DemonCast 2. But there's been a lot that's changed in 7 months. I know for me personally, there's been a lot that's changed. There's a lot that's changed for him. So tell us, what shit that you've experienced in the last 6-7 months?
So, I have taken a hiatus from doing YouTube to focus more on my TikTok channel. YouTube, though, I figured out the algorithm near the, close to the beginning of the year changed. When they changed it, basically they took all the searches that people input and pushed them more towards people who already have well-established channels, which screws over small YouTubers. So I ended up taking a hiatus to focus more on growing my community with a platform that actually didn't do that. Hence TikTok. And ever since I started to do my TikTok, I have just last night after my last live crossed 1,500 followers. So very shortly here, now that I actually do have a very, very small team backing me between my Discord community, TikTok, and now actually starting to do videos with me, especially being the video editing side, will make things a lot easier to actually manage YouTube. Because to keep content rolling out, doing it by myself, that's damn near impossible. Especially being across 3 platforms and a whole community. I can't do that myself. So, but very shortly, I will actually be having a new series coming out. And actually, here is the perfect time to do it because it's almost done. And the first 3 episodes are almost ready to be posted. 2 of them are ready. Third one's about to start being the final cut. And that is 7 Days to Die.
I wasn't expecting that. I was supposed to be doing 7 Days to Die live stream with him, but he freaking basically blew me off.
I've been extremely busy, being that my stream schedule kind of eats up most of my time. Hence, Tuesday, Friday, and Tuesday and Friday nights and Sunday mornings are my VRC lives that I do, and Saturday night I do my game night, where basically it's kind of randomly chosen as to what video game I play, and tonight is Wartham.
Tonight is Wartham. Yeah, so that pretty much answers my question. I was just about to ask him if we're going to do 7 days. Nope. God, I'm trying my best here to work stuff out with him with my schedule, his schedule, and he just blows me off. Yep, love to see how the best friend gets pushed to the back of the freaking line.
Hey, contact me a little bit sooner and I can work it in, asshole.
12-hour different time frames. What do you want from me?
Let me know, like, Wednesday, hey, I want to do some 7 days. Cool. We'll make that Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live.
That's all you gotta do.
Hey,
fucking
don't get me freaking copyright, man. They already have a Saturday Night Live, okay? Don't freaking put that shit on mine. This is DemonCast. This isn't Saturday Night Live.
You know what I mean, asshole.
Oh, God, you're gonna be the death of me. Oh.
Hey, when you signed up for this shit, my bullshit became your bullshit, and your bullshit became my bullshit. Deal with it.
That's a Kevin Hart reference for anyone who doesn't understand. Yeah, he became too busy for the best friend.
I'm not. You just gotta...
You don't ever text me. Would it kill you to be like, oh, hey, what's the plan? At least I could give you some form of idea.
Anytime I text you, oh, I don't know. Until the last minute.
I'm coming back into off-season at work. Start texting me, asshole.
Okay.
Well, now that we got that cleared up, moving on.
But anyways, so I know this...
But anyways.
So usually, I don't ever bring this up. Topic that we haven't talked about in a long time.
No, we're not together.
Come on, sweetheart.
We fight like a friggin' married couple, but I swear, no, we're not like that.
Okay, so I just recently made a decision that as soon as I get my car paid off, there's something I'm going to be buying.
Really? You made a decision that without me? What the fuck? Straight out of left field. What the frick was that?
But anyway, so this is a topic that we haven't talked about in a while. You mentioned that you wanted to buy a bike. So, what is your exact plans for that?
You talking street bike? Or
Yes.
what are you talking about?
Because I know a while ago you mentioned that you wanted to buy a street bike.
Well,
have you actually made any decision as to what that's going to be?
Yes, I have. Actually, matter of fact, I'm even got my decision down pat to where it's not only the first bike, but also the second bike, which is the second bike's going to be years down the road at that yet. Either way. So my first plan is obviously to get the motorcycle license, which I'm prioritizing that over everything because I actually found out you don't already have to own a bike to get your license. They usually provide bikes for you to do the road test or to do the safety course or whatever it is for you to pass to get the license.
Yeah.
And then basically once that goes through, I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and get myself a Honda Grom. Reason why is because, one, it's small compared to what we already have, which is custom mini bikes, off-road mini bikes at that. And I've actually found out a Honda Grom is literally, and I shit you not when I say this, a Honda Grom is only $4,000 brand new.
Oh yeah,
That's cheap.
I was looking at Honda Groms, but I've actually finally made my decision as to what bike I'm going to be buying. And as soon as I can pay off my car, which hopefully I can pay that off within a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be buying a Yamaha MT-03. The reason why I chose the MT-03 over the Honda Grom, because I was looking at a Honda Grom, believe it or not, I was.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being I chose a MTO3 is because it's a 300cc engine
Mm-hmm.
and it's a full-size bike.
Yeah.
The research I did into the MTO3 is it's extremely lightweight for being a full-size bike, but because it looks like a sport bike,
Mm-hmm.
but gives you the comfortability of a
Cruiser.
of a cruiser
Okay, I got one.
because they sit a lot more upright.
Mm-hmm.
Because the seating, because of how the frame is designed for the MTO3, because of the extremely small engine,
Mm-hmm.
being as a full size, they're able to put the seat a lot lower into the bike
Mm.
and keep the handlebars more upright.
See, one of the main reasons why I'm going with a Honda Grom as my first bike, like I said, one, because it's small, and for two, with what the Honda Grom is for how small it is, its gas tank holds like, what, I think like a gallon and a half or something. And you
Yeah.
can go like, I think like 140 miles on it.
That's
Like,
it's a single cylinder engine.
Like, that's absolutely insane. And then
Yeah.
the ironic thing is being that both bikes I'm actually going to have are both actually Hondas, which
Please don't tell me you're buying a gold wing,
what the fuck's a gold wing?
a full dresser.
Mm-mm. No. The ironic thing is the two bikes that I'm getting, the Honda Ground being one, which is my starter, and then the full size that I'm gonna get later. They both kind of almost resemble each other in a way. The Honda Grom being a smaller street variant, and then the full size that I'm gonna get being the full size variant, which is the Honda Africa Touring Adventure Bike.
Oh yeah.
Basically, it's a supermoto street legal dirt bike. Is what it is.
Better think of it as a full size dirt bike just scaled up. Like they're actually larger than most dirt bikes.
Yeah, that plus
But they look
like I said, street legal. So, you know, you got the mirrors, the turn signals, the road tires. Well, mine's not gonna have road tires. Mine's actually gonna have all terrains because, you know, just whenever you're out, you're just like, hey, biker status kicks in. You're just like, hey, that's a nice trail. I wonder if I can come back one day and rip. Wait, I got all terrains. Just freaking rip right off the freaking road. And that's the joy about having an adventure bike is the aspect that you're set up for both all the time. Mm-hmm. And then your adventure style helmet, it not only has all the capabilities of a regular street bike helmet, just with that visor on top, like it's a dirt bike helmet, which I already own one. I own the LS2 Elevation, and it has the dark tint visor, just because dark tint visors look so much better. I have the clear visor that came stock on the helmet. The only thing is, I haven't used it. Matter of fact, the clear tint visor, the clear visor that I have for it, the one that's stock, I haven't even removed the sticker off of it yet. That literally shows how much I am not going to use it. Matter of fact, I just took that helmet apart recently, believe it or not, and I actually found that the two circle brackets where basically it screws into the dirt bike style visor up top, I actually found that the plastic around those circular parts where it gets screwed in, I actually found on both sides it's actually broken, that I actually have to replace it, which is what I like about that helmet, is that it has replaceable parts like that. Now, most of these helmets anyway, they come with like removable liners, not just for DOT, but because you can actually buy new ones. And I'm also thinking I gotta buy a new one too, because I've had it end up sitting outside at work a lot, and I get out at 3 in the morning. So when it becomes that time, you get a lot of condensation around, and just that inside foam and all that. It just every time I put it on, it's just cold and wet because it sucked up all that condensation. So yeah, I'm really thinking I gotta replace a couple of parts on that helmet, which is nice because it allows me to pay only probably like $50 compared to like $250 to $300 for a whole new helmet. Then the visor on top of it, which is what I don't want to do.
Oh yeah, road legal DOT helmets, from what I know, like good ones, like you can easily find DOT rated helmets for like $200 or less, but for really, really, really good, ones that You crash, you're gonna be fine.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are like 500.
Yeah. Matter of fact, funny thing is, the brand called Senna, they not only make like systems, like intercom systems, they actually make helmets with the intercom systems built right in, and those helmets are like $500-600 each.
Yeah.
Which,
Not
in a
cheap.
way, is absolutely crazy, but also at the same time, you think it's like a buy once, cry once investment. As long as you take care of it and obviously buy replaceable parts over time, because I'm sure you're not going to be able to freaking run a full helmet all its life, if not beyond all its life, with the visor staying intact, with the freaking inside liner staying clean and dry and all that. It's probably not going to happen. That's probably one of the reasons I'm thinking they make them like that, to be with replaceable parts, is just for those reasons alone. Which again is nice because it's a difference between like 25 to $50 versus a whole new helmet. Like that's like 90 to 95% profit difference or money difference, whatever, however you want to classify it.
But so back to the bike, the MT-03. Take a wild guess how much it costs.
I'm gonna spitball this here, probably like $8,000. What, 5? Even cheaper than that? Is it cheaper than the Grom?
It's
Or is it about the same?
and depending on the variation of color that you get, it can range between about 4,500 to about 5,500.
And this is a full size bike?
Full size bike. Inline
That's-
2-cylinder.
That's kind of crazy to think about. The funny thing is the bike that I want that's full size. I'm obviously gonna get it in the automatic variant because I'm an automatic person. I mean,
Manual for me.
manual for a car is like one thing. Like I'll learn to drive it just to have that knowledge on hand, but I generally prefer automatic. But for a bike, forget it. I'll be freaking automatic all my life because I cannot stand the aspect of like I know multitasking and I know hand-eye coordination for like freaking video games, but when you're talking about bringing your foot into the mix to shift and shit, you could forget it. There's no way.
To me, in just like a car, especially with V8 or even a bike, I cannot like my Forester. I
Mhm.
drive that thing like it's a fucking manual, and even you know I do.
Mm-hmm.
I just prefer the sound of it, and I prefer the control of a manual transmission over an automatic.
You actually know, funny thing, a lot of people say they hate driving. But the funny
I
thing
love
is when you actually drive, do you actually know you get places faster because you're so distracted? Like, literally, that's the catch-22 hypocritical thing. People are like, oh, I don't like driving. You literally, like, time literally passes by so much faster because you're focused on what you're doing. So how is it that you're saying you don't like driving, but yet, technically speaking, time goes by faster because you're freaking distracted doing what you're doing driving? Because there's a lot more you have to pay attention to. You're not worried about everybody else in the car. You're not staring at the clock. You're just focused on driving. Literally, like for example, if you go and drive down the highway, or if you go and drive, one of the main highways of the United States, or like New York State Thruway or something like that. Technically speaking, if you're in the driver's seat and you start driving and you get on that highway, you're doing freaking 60, 70, 80 miles an hour down the highway. Literally, wherever you're going, it'll feel like you got there in a blink of an eye just because you're so distracted. You're so focused on what you're doing, and then it's like, oh, I'm here already. Like, it literally makes me wonder what people think saying, "Oh, I don't like to drive."
Yeah, like a exact example of this. Remember when we went to go see that Bradley Gilbert concert?
Yeah, actually, it's real quick. Funny thing he mentioned that because I was literally just looking at those videos just the other day on my freaking personal Instagram. If I could find those videos, or if I can get those videos downloaded from my archives, I'll freaking get them posted somehow in some way. I mean, they're not great quality because that was freaking 2017 and I had a shitty ass cell phone. Still.
Yeah, but perfect example of this is remember how long it took us to get there?
Mm-hmm.
Now think
For
about
me, it felt like it was forever. But I bet for him, it probably felt like the blink of an eye.
think about this one on the way back. Like, we were back here in, like, it felt like 20 minutes.
Again, probably for him because he was driving, but for me being not distracted like that, it feels like it feels like forever when you're in the passenger seat or in the back. I know this because I've done a lot of freaking road trips in my life, especially with my parents. Like there was one time, or actually, sorry, two times we drove to Virginia. That felt like it was forever. There's probably been like, oh god, I don't know, probably between like 50 to 100 times we freaking did it in couple-hour commute within the state that we live in New York State. Literally, freaking, I think we drove like between 75 to like 150 miles each commute, give or take. And every time I did that, I think out of every single time I commuted with my parents in the state, I think only like once or two times I actually physically drove one of those commutes, and literally 95 to 98% of the time they all literally felt like they took a long time just because, like I said, you're not distracted. But for my dad's sake, or if I was driving the one or two times, literally it always felt like you got there quickly because you're driving.
Yeah.
But back to what he was saying. I mean, he's clueless, I guess. I don't know. This is dumb fuckery in a nutshell.
Yeah,
I mean,
this is literally what we deal with.
I literally have a behind the scenes video of us doing a fishing vlog. He has the full vlog on his channel, and if you watch both those videos, you could see that this is a daily recurrence.
Oh, yeah.
And before even cameras even came out to freaking for us to do YouTube, this was long happening.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, I think in let's see, about another month or so, it'll be like freaking what, 12 years since I've known this guy.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing is, I don't think I've ever told this story on YouTube yet. But the funny thing is we would not have met had he not actually said something to me in the first place, because he was the original one that initiated the conversation. I was at the vending machine way back in high school. Well, I think he was either in high school or just crossing into high school. I want to say he was in high school. Yes, you were in high school.
Was it the year before I started going to BOCES?
No, you were in BOCES. That's why. Because so for anyone that's not from New York State, New York State has a school system called BOCES, and there's multiple of them all over. There's at least two or three that I know of anyway.
Think of it as think of it as college course level tech classes
that either anyone can take or high school students can be enrolled in,
yeah,
and the school will pay for it for you.
Yeah,
basically. So he was in junior year at that time. I remember because that was when we were doing the late afternoon buses. Yeah. So he was in junior year at that time. I was in, oh god, so let's see. I was 13 at that time. So basically,
put me at
he's like 3 years, almost 3 years old. It's like 3 years and 4 months older
I'm
than me,
28.
Yeah, because I'm freaking 25 and he was freaking born. Yeah, he was born, technically speaking,
4 years.
There's a 4 year, or sorry, there's a 4 month birthday gap between me and him. Actually, the ironic thing, I don't even ever think we addressed this. Like, literally, our birthday is the same day of the month, just 2 different months.
Yeah.
Which, that doesn't really matter, but just for the aspect that we're literally 4 months apart on a birthday, and he's 3 years older at that. And at that rate, that would have put me, yeah, so let's see, 12 years ago, yeah, I would have been 13, about to turn 14 at that time. And I was doing a program called, at that time, it was called, shit, I don't even remember what it was called now. But basically what it was like, it was like an extra help, basically course. So when, like, you're not doing good in, like, your main regular school, it's a program that the school did through the BOCES school that basically you got on the bus with the BOCE students, with the actual trade students, and then you went to either the main BOCE's campus or somewhere else, and basically there was like a smaller group of children that we each had specific grades that we were in. Well, they weren't really grades, more or less, because the school was consisted of like two different floors in a building. So it was basically like multiple teachers taught multiple grades throughout the whole day. So it's like one teacher would first off start, like, for example, they would start off teaching a 10th grade class. Then, after that class was over, the teacher could have gone to teaching some probably like 8th or ninth grade class. Like, that's the way the school was set up. And if anybody out there listening to this or watching this knows what I'm talking about, then you get what I mean. So basically, that's what I was doing at that time. He was in trade class for welding, and we both came back getting ready for the late bus. And I'm talking about late bus as in like the last of the students, and I mean the elementary students.
We wouldn't get home until about 4:35 o'clock.
Yeah, basically, because trade school got done at like 2:15 or something, and then we had like, God, was like a 20-30 minute commute via bus back to the main school campus that we were originally from.
A lot of times it was actually a lot longer than that because fucking bus drivers didn't know how to fucking drive.
Yeah.
Like literally literally what should be a 20 to 30 minute drive would usually take us almost an hour.
And funny thing is, I don't know if he knew this, but you know, from our school district, those buses were always governed at 55.
Yeah, I know, but usually we would do about 35.
Yeah. I remember one time us coming back, we got passed by a farm beater pickup truck. I mean, this thing was a single cab POS, and I'm talking about it was slow as shit. It's usually one of those ones that's driving down the road, hazards on. Matter of fact, I think it has its hazards on. And it passed us. It passed us. And it was probably doing no more than 35 miles an hour max of its own. And it passed us.
Yeah. Those fucking bus drivers back then did not know how to drive.
No, they did not. But yeah, basically back to the story. After we both got back, we were sitting there waiting because it was like, I want to say it was somewhere between like 45 minutes to an hour and a half we had to wait before the last buses came through. And this was with the like elementary school kids, so like kindergarten through fourth graders we were riding home with. And you know, we were between the ages of like 13, 16, 17, and that's the way the school ran that set of buses. And as we were waiting, I was at the vending machine back at the main school, getting like snacks or drinks or whatever. And then he comes in the cafeteria right at that door, right where the vending machines are, and he's like, "What's up?" And then I remember I had to explain to him because the school I was going to, that was the extra help program at that time, was in the city with a lot of city kids at that too. And
let me tell you right now, this motherfucker did not. He was a straight up city slicker when I first met him.
So the funny thing is, behind that story, real quick, I was a city slicker when I met him, not because I was truly a city kid, but because I was brought up, technically speaking, raised with a brother that is originally from the city and listened to a lot of rap. So I wasn't necessarily like, me overall, I'm not necessarily a city kid, but I'm not necessarily a country kid. I'm kind of like a very well blended mix, and I can turn either or on or off in the aspect. Like if anybody knows Larry the Cable Guy and saw that one segment that he did, he literally says that he can turn like when he did Mayor from Cars. He literally says he can turn that voice on and off. Like he can literally choose to talk like that all day long if he wants to, or he can choose to just talk in his normal voice if he wants to. Basically, me, same thing. I could do either or. Like if I wanted to, I could be like, "Hey, yo, what's good, gang? You know, what up?" Or I could be like, "Hey, y'all, how y'all doing over yonder?" Shit. You know, stupid stuff like that. I could do either or. I mean, it I've spent a lot of time hanging out with both people, and that also comes down from the aspect that just like I'm a people person when it comes down to hanging out with people. Like if you're cool, I'll hang out with you. If you want to act like a piece of shit and just want to be straight up disrespectful, I'm not gonna hang out with you. It's literally as simple as that. So yeah, I was at the vending machine. He comes through, says what's up, and I explained to him that because of the program that I was in, they tended to have a lot of school kid or city school kids, and uh, what happened was they had like remnants of drugs that they found or something. I don't remember what kind of drugs. Most likely weed, probably because
Most likely back then,
that's the hot commodity most of the time.
especially
So
back then.
yeah, so I had explained how they had to do searches in everyone's backpack, and I had change in my backpack, hence I was going to the vending machine. And I remembered the exact amount of change I had. And later on, when I went through my backpack, I found out some change was missing. So I was like, oh, great. When they were doing the frickin' searches or whatever, I think someone had frickin' took some of my change. Which is stupid because, I only had probably like $4 in change, maybe. So it's like, why the heck would you take a couple of cents in change? Especially when they're all quarters. Like, I think if I had like $4 in change, I think I only ended up having like 350, 375 left or something. Like they didn't take a lot, but I knew there was some taken. And basically that's just how we met. And then we would hang out after BOCES got out. On the way back, we'd sit together on the bus, just shoot the shit, talk about music. He had a PS Vita at that time, so I would like watch him play whatever, or just anything like that. Oh, that was also speaking of, that was also back when you had that freaking iPod Touch. I just remembered that. Damn, that was a while ago.
Yeah. Do you know how much ass kissing I had to fucking do to get that fucking thing?
I bet. Because freaking things back then for us was not easy to get.
No, it was not
I mean,
at all.
We got adult money now. We do childish things with adult money.
Oh,
but
yeah.
to have some of the things we have today to get back then, the amount of freaking chores we had to do, let me tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Some people would look at me. Matter of fact, I've actually been called a fake ass country boy. And the thing is, I'm not going to deny that. You can call me whatever the hell you want. I'm not city, I'm not country. I'm just a well blended mix of me, myself, and I. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. But either which way, for us to get shit like that, he probably would have had to do like a whole summer's worth of log splitting, probably inside of a month.
Yeah.
He had to do chores out the ass. He had to help out with freaking yard maintenance, freaking car maintenance, freaking clean the house, tidy up his room. Like he had to do everything.
I remember to get that iPod that I had, one of the biggest things I had to help out was with logging.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like, dragging small limbs and stuff like that. No. These were, you had to use a four-wheeler to drag these fucking things. I was out in the woods, cutting down trees, cutting them up into sections where you can be dragged by a four-wheeler the whole 9 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was not an easy summer to get that fucking iPod.
No.
No. By any means.
And the thing about me is when I was growing up and the way I had to go about getting stuff like that is my dad was at a point in his life where he just did not want to do yard maintenance anymore. And we had a tractor. Like matter of fact, we still have it.
Yes, is this
Yeah,
the green one.
It's the John Deere that we have. And we still have it freaking 12 years later. Matter of fact, 12 years ago, it was brand new. It's a 2012 model. So,
and the funny thing is, with how much shit has been through, I'm still fucking surprised it's running, but also it is a Kawasaki motor.
That goes to show you the Japanese knows what they're doing. But before we get too much more off topic, yeah, the way I had to go about getting stuff like that when we were younger is my dad didn't want to do the yard work anymore. He just wanted to provide for the family, come home, and basically just relax. And basically me, I had to keep up on weekly maintenance every week, and as long as I did that, that was basically me getting whatever it is I asked for when I asked for it. Now, granted, there was a bunch of times I asked for stuff, but probably say like every 15, 20 times I asked for something, I probably only got like 2 or 3 of those items. Like, that's the ratio we worked with when we grew up.
Yeah, he's not lying about that at all.
Like, I probably had, like, tablets. I used to be a tablet kid. Not in the aspect that you see tablet kids today, but besides the point, not going to get into that.
Oh, I can go on and about that for days. But
I basically had a tablet between the ages of, like, 10 and 15. Like, that was my threshold. Like, that was a responsible time to have a device like that, to use it for entertainment, YouTube, music, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think between that time, I probably had, like, 4 tablets. And, I mean, granted,
they weren't that great.
Cheapos. I mean, speaking of which, I remember literally 2 tablets I had. They were exactly the same.
And one of them being an LG.
Yes, one of them was an LG. I forget what brands all they were, but I remember 2 tablets were exactly the same. One was black, one was blue, and the screens weren't that great. They both shattered. I mean, those were devices you drop once and they pull an iPhone. Like, you literally drop them no matter what surface you drop them, and the screen shatters. It's not like freaking modern day Samsung Gorilla Glass where you can freaking literally throw the thing at concrete.
That's right here.
And it'll protect itself.
Galaxy S21. Modern day phones, the Galaxy lines, you can't break them.
That's because they use the Corning glass?
Corning Gorilla Glass. It was specifically designed. So, a quick story behind that, because I know a lot of people don't understand why the difference between Samsung and iPhones, the screens on the Samsungs are so much better. I want to say it was back in 2015 that Samsung got a hold of Corning because of how well Corning does with glass and stuff like that. They needed something a lot better than just tempered glass for their phones. Well, after, I want to say it was 2017 or 2018 was the first iteration of the Gorilla Glass. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
Quote him on that. He doesn't fact check receipts for shit.
It was somewhere around the mid 2010s, I want to say, was the first generation of the Gorilla Glass. I don't know the exact composition of it, but you can't break the shit, especially with Gen 2 out. I don't care what you do to it, you can't break it.
Literally, like I said,
you literally have to. I think the only way you can break them is you have to physically take a chunk out of it for it to start to crack.
You probably have to physically smash it with a hammer to break it.
Nope.
Really?
They've tested that. It won't work.
Okay, then I stand corrected. Because I've physically thrown one of them. Like, I don't even know which one it was. I don't know if it was this one. And I have the cheap line. I have the Samsung Galaxy A line. He's got the S line. Even mine's the A line, the cheaper model. I think this phone I only paid like $200 for, or $250 or something like that. I forget what one it was. This one or the one just before it. But literally, I've physically thrown it at concrete, getting pissed off at it or pissed off at whatever I was.
Yeah.
I literally threw it at friggin' concrete, like full force, like baseball swing, and it did not break. Friggin', I forget who was with me, but they saw me freaking throw it, and they're like, "Oh, your phone's busted. That thing is done." I picked it up, clicked it on, freaking started messing with it. They're like, "How the hell's it still working?"
It's Samsung.
Like, that's Samsung for you. That's the reason why I buy this brand.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to buy something cheap that's not going to last me. Especially when I can't afford nothing.
One of the things I wish that Samsung never did was get rid of the LiDAR.
What's that?
Okay, so the LiDAR, if you look on the back of most phones, obviously, so like right here, you have your screen, your cameras. Right here, obviously, you have your light. Just below that, right there, right just below the light, there's another little sensor right there. LiDAR is a type of radar, but LiDAR is different in the aspect that instead of just telling you general like speeds or some shit like that, like normal radar can do for like speed guns, stuff like that, LiDAR can do 3-dimensional scanning.
Ah.
The S20 was the only one to ever have it. I wish they never got rid of it, because of how many uses that actually has other than just doing 3-dimensional scanning. It's one of the worst, to me, like Samsung, other than the taking away the headphone jack. Obviously, I understand why, because we're moving more into the cheaper ones still have it.
Mine is.
These don't.
Hold on, I need to verify this before I get it wrong.
Yours is the A21, I would say.
No. I'm talking about your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was surprised at that too, because I hated the aspect when they took the phone jack out. It really irritated me.
Taking the LiDAR out, it cost them almost nothing to have it in there. So why did they get rid of it? I have no idea. But for being content creators, especially if you're into 3D printing,
this is a 2023 phone, and it has an aux jack.
Yeah. Besides getting rid of that, to me, getting rid of the LiDAR was one of the worst decisions they made because of what you could use it for.
Or actually, sorry, the announcement was in December of 2023. It released 2024. So this is a 2024 model phone at that. And it has an aux jack, which I'm happy about that because I absolutely hated having to use on the Bluetooth headphones with my phone. And I only have one pair of Bluetooth headphones. And those are things I only really use for when I'm either doing stuff at home or if I'm doing like VR content. But I don't really even use them with VR because the speakers in the VR headset, which sitting right here, they're just absolutely amazing to begin with. You don't need headphones. And they say you need, what is it, like low latency or something, headphones, especially Bluetooth ones?
If anyone's ever wondering, a really good brand to buy is JLab.
It's actually a funny thing because they say you need low latency
I can tell you right now,
headphones. I've used mine. Mine are Skull Candy Push Actives. I notice no lag difference. It's instantaneous.
JLab, to me, is essentially like, there's a word, but essentially like you're getting what you pay for. Like
best bang for your buck.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're not like Beats Audio or some shit like that, which
that's
almost yeah.
Where is it? Right here. For anyone
JBL.
For anyone who's just listening to the podcast, I got the JBL Charge 4 in my hand. And basically what this is, it's like he phrased it when he first bought it, and then when I was looking at getting one, he's like, the Charge 4 is basically, for its price range, the best bang for your buck. In that given sense.
So, funny thing about JBL, now that you bring that up, most people don't know this, because, like, I'm a huge tech person, wildlife tech and entertainment. I do a huge amount of tech shit behind the scenes before I do anything. Like, I haven't done an actual like tech video in a very, very long time. But I do a lot of research into this kind of shit. JBL. You would never know this unless you really dug into it. But also, a lot of their boxes, no one ever reads the boxes.
Mm-hmm.
No one ever does. There's a stamp right there that says Harmer-Kardon. Harmer-Kardon is a German audio company.
That's what it is. I've always wondered, because I remember him talking about something to do with German being associated with JBL. I never remembered what he was talking about. I was like, JBL's a German branded company. And then I looked up and was like, wait, no, it's not. I was like, what is he talking about that is German related? That's what it was.
Harmer-Kardon, if you actually look at these speakers that they sell, are like $10,000 to $15,000. JBL is their American brand, their American side to their brand.
Yeah,
that's the reason why those speakers sound so good. Because they're using German audio technology.
And that's the funny thing. Germany and Japan, whatever it is that those guys are doing when it comes to creating stuff, they get it right. Literally, the vehicle that I want is a freaking Japanese vehicle. Like, I'm an American. I love my American vehicles, Ford and Chevy. But at the same time, the sad reality of it is, as a daily driver, I trust a foreign over an American brand. Reason why? Because in recent years, American brands have gone down in quality.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm a Ford person through and through. I love my Mustangs. I love the Ford F-150. Do I wish they went back to using some of the older technology like pushrod V8s? Absolutely. Are they good the way they are? Yes, as long as you work out the issues that they have. I can tell you right now,
Mm-hmm.
My neck, like, I drive a Subaru because obviously, do they have oil burning issues? Yes. I'll take the oil burning.
He had major issues with the first one. The one he has now hasn't told me so much, so I'm going to assume he hasn't had too many problems with it.
So actually, I'll tell you right now. So, and I haven't made a video on this yet. I was going to, but I figured this would be a really good way of at least putting the story out there. So, the very first Subaru I bought was 2010. It was a 2010 Forester. It was the premium edition, so it was just above the base model. Dual exhaust, so on and so forth. It wasn't very anything special, really. So if anyone knows anything about engines, about the Subarus, 2010 and older were the EJ motors. The EJ motors were, as a Subaru boxer motor, that's all they pretty much make. The EJ ran from the late 90s to 2010. They were known for blowing head gaskets left and right. But the biggest problem I had with this thing was it would drink oil.
Yeah. He would call me on like a weekly basis, telling me, "Oh, this fucking POS is pissing me off.
Yes.
Drinking oil. I'm having to spend
Upwards
3 times the amount of money in oil than I regularly would."
Per week, that motor would drink almost a quart of oil.
Mm-hmm.
So other than that, it was great until the transmission started acting weird. But it didn't die. It just kept going.
Until it finally did die and
Now,
the freaking motor blew itself up.
So what happened with that for any of the car people that end up seeing this? Basically, what happened was we replaced, because the car had 200 and some thousand miles on it. Like, it needed some work, so I decided to change the water pump, timing belt, the timing belt tensioner pulley, the whole 9 yards up there to get that out of the way. But what happened is something that none of us knew. Like, it was out there on the internet, but like none of it ever popped up. Like, I searched up a whole bunch of different stuff. That's what you should do, and this never came about as something that could happen, even though until after it happened. See, what happens is with the Subaru motors, the timing belt tensioner pulley isn't actually connected directly to the block. See, where it's connected to is actually a bracket that is connected to the block. That bracket, when you change the timing belt tensioner, the whole entire arm, you change that as well. The reason being is because of the factory torque spec that they put on there along with the Loctite.
Mm-hmm.
When you take that bolt out, it basically fucks that entire block up.
Huh. That's kind of stupid.
So what happened was, when I put everything on there, over time, over the course of, I want to say 6 months, that bolt started to loosen. And eventually, something happened and it ripped all the threads out of that bolt hole and dropped the tensioner, skipped timing, and slapped the valves right into the pistons. Bent the valves right over.
Yeah. That's kind of horseshit.
So what they did was 2010 to 2011. The car I bought was a 2011 Premium. After 2011 and newer, all the way up until, I want to say, mid 2018, they used the new motor, which is essentially an EJ motor, but with a shitload of upgrades. Technically, it is a completely different motor because the block is different, but it's very much like an EJ, but just a lot of the problems fixed, which is the FB series of motors. They went from a timing belt to a timing chain. Fixed a lot of the problems, but now here's the thing with this car. This car, when I bought it, the oil consumption problem was 3 times worse than the EJ that I had. Instead of burning upwards of a quart of oil a week, this thing was burning 3 quarts of oil a week.
Jesus.
3 quarts. It only holds 5.5 quarts. 3 quarts in 1 week. So I immediately took it back. I'm like, dude, what the fuck is going on here? This thing's burning 3 times more oil than what my other car did. Like, what the hell is going on here? So over the course of upwards of 2 months, I didn't have that car in my possession at all. It was sitting at a shop the entire week, fighting with ProGuard, and this is where I'm going to get into a whole nother section of this. If you ever buy a used vehicle that has a ProGuard warranty, walk the fuck away. Never buy a car with ProGuard warranty. It is one of the worst, and I actually did the research after the fact. After fighting with ProGuard twice, because they didn't want to fix the first car, so I got screwed out of that. Because that one had a ProGuard warranty, they didn't do one shit with it. This one here, luckily, the dealership actually dealt with ProGuard themselves to actually try to get the motor replaced, and luckily they did. After 2 months of fighting with ProGuard, they actually finally agreed to replace the motor. What I thought was a remanufactured engine, they pulled it out of a junkyard. This motor looks in worse condition than what the motor that came in that car.
Jesus.
And so the customer service at ProGuard is fucking worthless. The actual people who deal with your claim, most of the time, they're company men. They're getting more commission off of that shit than it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah, it sounds like corporate.
Yeah, it is absolutely insane. ProGuard is fucking worthless. Walk the fuck away. Or buy the car without the warranty and go source your own aftermarket warranty. That is my recommendation for that. Make sure it comes with something other than ProGuard, or go get your own. Now, the motor that's in there now, it doesn't run right. It does not run right at all. Like, you could tell it doesn't. Like, right off the bat, like, when it's cold, until it gets up to full operational temperature, it's doggy as shit. Then it has all the power in the world afterwards. I think it slightly burns a little bit of oil, but nowhere near as bad as the motor that was in it. Especially now with the way that oil for pricing is, for 5 quarts is almost $30, especially being 0W20, and the fact that I actually did the research into it, as even you've done research into the oil types. So when it comes to Pennzoil, the only type that's actually worth buying is the Pennzoil Platinum. Especially buying Pennzoil Platinum high mileage 0W20.
I was just about to say.
It's like $32 fucking for a 5 quart container. Because I don't like Mobile One, because Mobile One, like, they spend more money in their marketing than they actually do in the oil itself. Castrol is like, they have a cult following behind it, which I don't like. Like, just the people who buy Castrol oil is a fucking cult. And, like, is their oil good? Yes. But it doesn't justify the price tag behind it.
Yeah. Their oil is only good when you're using it for very specific things. Like when we were just talking about the mini bikes not too long ago, they have, what was it, that special additive to break in engines. Like,
yes,
for
but
us,
you have to buy like the oil from Castrol to break in engines is absolutely insane fucking price. But is it good? Yes, it works fucking great for that specific purpose. But other than that, the oil is not that. It's like, it's not worth the price you pay for it, because the additive packages that actually put in their fucking oil, you can get in almost any other oil for half the fucking price. That's the reason why I go with Pennzoil. Because, shiny container, but it's reasonably priced. And I did the research into it. The Pennzoil Platinum is actually worth the price you fucking pay for it. Rotella is like the only fucking diesel oil out there. Like, could you get diesel oil in other brands? Yes, but they don't actually specialize in diesel oil like Rotella does. Now let's see here. Lucas is like one of the very few oils that actually, like, truly exceeds what they rate it to. Lucas and what's the other one? Amsoil. Lucas and Amsoil are the only two brands. Yes, they are expensive, but here's the thing: that the reason why they are one of the top tier brands. Remember you telling me about a tier list of the type of oils.
Mm-hmm.
They're within the top two. They actually exceed what they rate their oils to. Are they worth the price? For certain applications, yes. Lucas and Amsoil are about the only things. If when I get the MTO3, are the only two oils I'll ever run in those. I fully trust Amsoil. Yeah, Pennzoil. But I will not run in a bike.
Mm-hmm.
The reason being is because bikes run at such a high RPM
Mm-hmm.
that I don't believe that Pennzoil, the way the oil works, I don't think it can handle it.
Yeah. That's why we bought Lucas mainly for that aspect. And plus it's Lucas motorcycle oil. And from what I could tell looking in Pennzoil, I don't think they make a motorcycle oil. If I'm wrong, then I do apologize, but at least what they
I want to say yes, but it's hard to find it.
Yeah.
It's hard to find it.
Alrighty, guys. So that was part one for this Joker being a special guest again. Speaking of which, on that note, really quickly, he is currently the only guest to have been featured on this series more than once at this point. And now there's going to be other guests down the road. I definitely am looking at one more after him. Other than that, I've got a few ideas lined up. Nothing really firm yet, but I hope you guys enjoyed this part one with him. As always, this is DemonCast. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys like what you see. And if you like what you see, please consider subscribing. I greatly appreciate it. And as always, guys, thank you for tuning in, and see you guys in the next one.